You see, investing isn't hard. I can actually argue that investing is easy. But one thing I've observed over time is that some people have not been able to get their stuff together is because they do not have invested in the order that is supposed to be. I'm Chinayam Bacho. I'm a certified registered nurse anesthetist, and I'm a stock market and a real estate investor. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing what I call 10 orders of investing, from the most important to the least important. Once you have this together, it will help make investing very easy. So please stick with me as I go through that. Coming up in number 1 in 10 orders of investing is mindset. You see, you can only become that which you've thought of. If you desire financial freedom, then there are certain orders that you have to play certain things to help you get there. In my own case, personally, I wanted to build financial freedom. And I've come to realize that I can do so in one of these 3 ways, or a combination of these 3 ways. Number 1 is stock investment. Number 2 is real estate. And number 3 is building business enterprise. So having understand that, I took certain steps, I thought about it and said, this is the way I'm going to get here. And that is a mindset. You have to understand that you hold the power to shape your life. If you desire to be financially free, then you must take necessary steps to get you there. You start from clearly defining your goals. In my own case, my goal was to achieve financial freedom by investing in stocks, real estate, and building a business enterprise. I went ahead and started executing those plans. You have to understand that you hold the power to shape your life through conscious decision and effort. If you decide to become someone, then you have to work towards that. You also have to understand that it is not just enough to think of something. What separates successful individuals from those who are not is nothing else but purely education and execution. And in this video, I'm going to give you the education, and I'm going to encourage you to begin to execute, because it is only execution that separates successful individuals from those who are not successful. Entrepreneurs turn those ideas into action, and those actions is what helps to build wealth for them over time. Coming up in step number 2 in orders of investment is having a consistent income. Having a consistent income can never be underestimated. It is like watering a planted seed. When you have a steady paycheck, it allows you to set up automatic transfers from your personal account into your brokerage account. Those small transfers has the power to compound over time, where the earnings that grow generate earnings for itself and build compound interest over time. Coming up in step number 3, educate yourself. Financial education fosters discipline, teaching, saving, investing, and better management skills. Knowledge allows confident investing, turning savings into wealth. In my own education, I read books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. I read financial newsletters, Morningstar briefings. I looked at analyst reports, and this was one of the ways I used to build myself educationally. Coming up in step number 4 in 10 orders of investing is getting rid of bad debt. Bad debt generally prevents wealth growth. There are certain lists of bad debt. They include high interest credit card, student loan, car payment, payday loan, and depreciating assets like luxury items. While certain debts can be leveraged, lifestyles such as the ones I mentioned reduces individual net worth and increases financial stress. And all this puts a lot of burden in the investor. Step number 5, build your emergency fund. If you've lived long enough, you will understand that emergencies do occur. Emergency fund provide that financial safety net, preventing an investor from taking on high interest debt should emergencies occur. It is essentially an insurance of its own against life surprises. It provides stability and peace of mind, and it prevents an investor from selling long-term assets during emergencies in order to cover an immediate need. Step number 6 is set investment goals. Setting investment goal is critical in building wealth. Goals are essentially a roadmap. What it does is it breaks large aspiration into small measurable milestones, allowing an investor to maximize compound interest over time. Coming up in number 7 is determining investing approach. Now, this one is quite long, but I'm going to break it down into 4 sectors or 4 areas. Area number 1 talks about whether you want to invest in long-term versus short-term. The second part talks about asset allocation. Now, the third part talks about value investing versus growth investing. And the fourth part talks about tax strategies. Now, let's break it down and take it one at a time. Let's talk about long-term versus short-term. Generally considered is long-term. Long-term is generally considered the most effective approach in building wealth. It believes that building small amount over time allows compound interest to work in one's favor. Long-term are investing with a time horizon of 5 to 15 years. Short-term are investments that are usually 3 to 5 years. The second part of the approach is what we call whether you want to invest in index fund or individual stocks. When it comes to index fund versus individual stock, recommendations are always invest in low-cost, broad-based ETF. Yes, they sometimes can be very boring. The returns sometimes cannot be very high, but research has shown that investing in low-cost, broad-based ETF over time, you most likely will tend to outperform individual stocks. The other arm of investment is when you compare value versus growth stock. The value investment focuses on identifying those undervalued individual stocks, while the growth investor aims to zero in on those companies that have the potential for high growth, usually the tech companies. The goal of a value investor is to find that undervalued stock before everyone else does or before the market catches up to it, allowing them to grow it over time. While the goal of a growth investor is to zero in on those investments with high potential for growth, locking in early enough and riding up the wave. Value investment is less risky with a moderate return, but growth investor is a high risk, high reward play, particularly in the tech industry. The next approach is what is called tax efficiency investment. What it does is it uses tax efficiency accounts like 401k and HSA accounts to reduce or defer tax payment. This allows the funds in the account to grow over time, compounding. Up in number 8 is to decide how much to invest. The general rule is to invest 10 to 20% of your take-home pay. If you cannot afford 10 to 20%, start somewhere, start from 5% and scale it upwards. If you're an employee with an employer benefit, it is best advised to leverage that. This isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of investment. The goal is to find that amount, whether it is 5% or 10%, that you can invest on a consistent basis, and you do so consistently over time. This will allow you to grow your wealth. And step number 9 in 10 orders of investing is to open a brokerage account and fund the brokerage account. If you live here in the United States, then you have brokerages like Vanguard, you have Fidelity, you have Schwab, you have Robinhood. The first step is to register. You sign up, you enter your personal information, your address, you enter your email information, you enter your social security number, and you create an account. And then you proceed and link your personal account with your brokerage account, as this allows you to transfer money back and forth between those two accounts for easy investment. You can also set up automatic transfers every month or every week from your personal account to the investment account to enable automatic investments. For my viewers in Nigeria, to open a brokerage account, you can open one with Stanbic IBTC, and you can open one with Bamboo. I have a link in the description below if you want to sign up. When you do that, they will need your name, they will need your personal information, which includes your name, your address, they will need your NIN, they will need your phone number to open an account and an email address. And once the account is open and set up, you go ahead and fund the account and begin to invest. The final step in step number 10 is to monitor, rebalance, and continue to invest consistently. Monitoring and rebalancing a stock portfolio is necessary to ensure that investor stays within their goal. Market changes, portfolio performance, and personal life circumstances are all factors that affect an investor's portfolio over time. Therefore, the need to rebalance portfolio is extremely necessary annually or semi-annually. Rebalancing periodically involves buying and or selling of assets to restore an investor's portfolio to its target allocation. Rebalancing is a very good asset tool that can be used to mitigate risk because what it does, it prevents an investor from over-concentrating their funds in one asset. Till next time, take care of yourself.